welcome back to another video of the F1 2020 Driver Career Ferrari, episode number 75 today for the Italian Grand Prix, season 5, round number... I can't remember what round we're on, but... Anyway, yes, if you haven't missed any of the previous videos, I recommend go and check them out. There's a link to the playlist in the description below, and of course, subscribe if you are new to the channel. See plenty more episodes of the F1 2020 Driver Career Mode, and indeed Drive Career Mode back on F1 2021 as well. I'm still aiming for 500 subscribers before F1 2021 comes out, so if you have not yet subscribed, then please do. It's the big red button in the video. It massively helps me out and sustain the channel, and thank you. But yes, well, moving to the Italian Grand Prix then, and well, okay, well, this is a first for me. Never had the monsoon rain conditions in a race before. I mean, you guys know that I'm absolutely terrible in normal rain conditions, in intermediate conditions, never mind in the massive thunderstorm, storm wet, biblical spray, monsoon weather, hurricane, whatever you want to call it, conditions. That is what we're going to face, with lightning as well, through the Italian Grand Prix. Yeah. Anything in the points will be an added bonus here. And Daniel Ricciardo has announced his retirement. Daniel Ricciardo's not even in the series anymore. He hasn't been for 3 series, Carl. But anyway, well, this is definitely going to be a tough episode with the monsoon rain, and pretty much also the fact of the matter is qualifying is going to be dry, so we can't even get our eye in on the wet tyres to see how good the setup is. So it is going to be dry. Jumping to qualifying, we're hoping for another good one nevertheless. See what we can do, qualify as high up as possible, because that's means the less amount of positions that we can fall back to during the race. And it's okay, it's actually for the second time in a row we could be on for pole position. We're currently P5 in this series, as we come through the first and second little corners. A little bit of change of alternate line from my previous one, which is why you see the delta time fluctuating there. But we've gained up 0.04 of a second, which is enough to go purple, 0.3 up on Bottas's time. So we're doing well, and through that section up to the Lesbos section, we've gained quite a fair bit of time now, 0.4 up, coming through Lesbos 1, out of Lesbos to a little bit of curbing, more curbing that that's lost us 0.5 of time, but we're going to press on. The first 2 sectors are where I'm really good, the last sector not so much. It's another purple sector as well, 4.5 up on Bottas's previous time. A little bit wide coming out for Ferrari, but then this is when we lose time to the AI. I have very poor traction out of Ferrari compared to the AI, and just going wide. Then we've gone wide into Parabolica as well. That's a dreadful time. We're on that AstroTurf. We've lost almost a 10th of a second coming out of there. And is that going to cost me pole position? It is. Well, it's still the front row, which is better than other races we've been managing recently, but it would be nice to get 2 poles in a row. It's actually a Ferrari front row lockout, so I mean, at least Sebastian's there, at least the pace is there. But what can we do in the monsoon rain with our teammate on pole position, in front of the home fans, in front of the Tifosi? It's time for the Italian Grand Prix.
It's time for the Italian Grand Prix once again, here at the beloved and iconic Autodromo Nazionale di Monza. With the lowest downforce and drag of any circuit in the season, expect to see drivers making the most of the slipstream effect here today. With the rain coming down here at the 3.6-mile Monza circuit, the low drag setups preferred by most teams could cause them some problems in today's Grand Prix. So watch out for cars struggling for grip around Parabolica, the last and most demanding of this track's 11 corners. Also here, of course, is Anthony Davidson. Now then, let's take a look at Nick de Vries. Looks like they've got a tough race in store today, as grid penalties from changing power unit components has forced them further down the field.
But on the bright side, at least those fresh components can help them maintain the power they need to come through the pack. I expect to see them take a more aggressive approach today to make up for the compromised start.
With the race minutes away from starting, here's what today's grid rundown looks like. Sebastian Vettel will start on pole. Fantastic qualifying from the multiple world champion and a Ferrari alongside. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Albon, Bottas, Carlos Sainz and Magnussen, Leclerc, Gasly, Norris and Luca Giotto, Joe, Verstappen, Lance Stroll and Kvyat, Russell, Latifi, Antonio Giovinazzi and Nobuharu Matsushita. Ocon, they've taken a grid penalty, and Nick de Vries. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Okay, this is the team's home race. We're all relying on you to impress today.
Jeff, if you've seen the conditions outside, we'll be lucky to make it to the end in these conditions. Full wet tyres then for, what, the first time in a long time, but nevertheless, 5-hour lights are on, and the Monsoon Grand Prix is underway, and it's a dreadful start in the rain. I can't hardly see anything in the wet, just the braking line for the assist. We're going to dive it down the inside though. Vettel's dived way too early. We've almost skidded on, and Sainz I think as well is going to have a look at Vettel. So Vettel very slow. They initially had a good start, but Sainz into the middle sector up to the Lesbos section, and Sainz is going to go through. Vettel will come back at him on the left hand side, but Sainz will have the inside into the first of the Lesbos sections, then and will take P2, and he is now looking very fast, Carlos. We know how good he is in the wet conditions in real life, as we had a very sideways time, I should say, in Scari. As we look at Sainz now, he's closing at a rate of knots here, 2 tenths, 1.5 tenths coming into Parabolica. We need to get this stopped to make sure we get through Parabolica, and the rear end has snapped again, and Sainz will surely look to take advantage, but we get to use the power of the Ferrari engine and move away into P1. So we jump to lap 4, however. The safety car has been deployed, and the safety car has been deployed because it's too wet. So obviously in real life we would have a red flag in this scenario, but obviously there are no red flags in this game. Safety car though did come in at the end of lap number 6, so only out for 2 laps, and you can see here it is still far too wet to be doing absolutely anything, but we're going racing anyway. We've got Sainz. We tried to keep caught in napping at the Parabolica. It's not quite worked. I mean, he's still half a tenth behind. If we missed completely corner 1, we're going to have to go over the bumps. We get a warning for corner cutting. Sainz, though, is he going to come out on the outside of us up to the end of sector 1? We're going to go side by side. A little bit of tyre banging between myself and Sainz is going through. We're going to have to dive it down the inside. We switch to the left hand side, and we've missed the corner again. We're going over the sleeping policeman, and Sainz comes back at us on the left hand side as we go towards the Lesbos 1 section. And Sainz tries to keep his footing on the outside though, but we get the better traction in the end. And up to the second one we are through into the lead, but this was some great racing between myself and Sainz. We were very lucky not to spin out into him, and Vettel as well has a look at Sainz, but then Sainz gets the better traction towards Ascari. And just like that, and the safety car comes out again because it is still too wet. So 2 safety cars, obviously that's limited at 25% race. If this was a 50% race, I think we can have 5. The safety car comes in at the end of lap number 9. You can see now we have got through the monsoon weather, and it's looking more like potentially intermediate. We'll have to wait and see. We know the AI is stubborn and probably won't come in, so we will probably have to try and go to the end, but obviously I'm at disadvantage, as you guys know. The player is always at disadvantage in these changeable conditions as the rear end switches once again. Our championship rival Carlos Sainz has gone on the grass. This is very twitchy for ourselves, and Sainz has gone into the back of us and has lost a bit of our front wing. This is huge for the championship. This is big for the championship because Sainz is our closest breather. There's only 5 points separating us, and Sainz just literally, we had a moment on the grass and Sainz just can't get its stopping time. So obviously Sainz is coming in as we're coming out Parabolica. We're losing the back end. We've got front wing damage and a whole load of cars have gone through. We're going to come in anyway because it's just, we just can't steer in these conditions. We need to make sure we take fastest lap because I don't know if anybody else is going to capitalise, but Sainz and myself both of us are going through intermediates. New front wings on both of our cars as Sainz comes out ahead of us as he was coming into the pits, but it's disaster. We were on for a big lead in the championship until for about half a straight, and then Parabolica came along. We lost the rear end, and that's pretty much, well, our lead in the championship over, and that could have big dramaticity. But obviously the lead at the front has changed because Albon and Bottas have managed to get in front to Sebastian Vettel, who should have taken victory with Sainz and myself out, and the two AlphaTauris have moved up, and I think also Leclerc is in there having another good race as Antonio Giovinazzi. There's a little bit too much spray coming out for the Italian, and unfortunately for him, he is out of the race. But moving on to lap 12 then, obviously there's only one person really in our race now, and that's Carlos Sainz. We're looking to set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We're going side by side up towards Ascari. It's another purple middle sector, but Sainz is tyre banging and he's forced us off into Ascari, and we've been ordered to give the position back, which is so annoying considering the fact we just had nowhere to go really to keep the position going on the track. But nevertheless, we will look to get him out of Parabolica, having a better time on the intermediates. There's more traction for us, unlike on the wets where there was absolutely nothing in these conditions, and it's going to be such an easy time. Even with that, given the place back, we still set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We're going to go side by side with Sainz up to turn 1. Sainz brakes early, and we move ahead up into a dismal P18. As Alex Albon comes across the line, we're going to steal the fastest lap back from Albon as well. Albon is the lead, took victory there, so disappointing for Ferrari considering the fact that, well, we had that issue at Parabolica, and then Vettel should have capitalised and took the win away from Albon and Bottas. So yes, Magnussen has another good result for Leclerc, who's having a very good time of it lately after getting P5 at Belgium in the chaos in the past two races, and double point score for both of the McLarens. Guan Yu Zhou as well, rare point for him. Danny Kvyat unable to add to his tally, but we do, and frustration down there in P18. So in terms of the Drivers' Championship, it's all changed because we still lead, but 4 points now separate myself from Alex Albon in second. So Albon has capitalised out of the chaos between that myself and Sainz have caused today. Sainz is still 5 points back, so it's all to play for going in with 4 rounds left to go. Bottas is still a little bit too far behind as well, so I think he's out of it. It's very tight at the top, but between Mercedes and Red Bull and the constructors, unfortunately, nothing for us.
The fans really seem to enjoy that. You made it look easy. How do you feel about this team's performance this season? You scraped the walls a few times. Were you struggling for grip?
Anyway, enough about Claire. I might make a montage of Claire when we get to the latter half of the season 6, but we'll have to wait and see. But anyway, well, it's all to play for with 4 rounds to go. Us atop any myself, Sainz or Albon can win. Obviously, we're hoping to win because that'd be nice. I haven't won a career mode championship since F1 2017. It's been that long. Albon, though, has now tied me for wins this season, so he's been really consistent lately with, although he suffered at Hungary and Belgium just like I did, just like I suffered at Britain and Hungary. He has come back and has won races, and he's won some of those target races that I wanted to win, like Canada and Austria. So he's been there. Sainz, no points in the last 2 races. Is this a dip in form for him? We'll have to wait and see. I mean, yeah, he's only won 2 races this year. Well, he needs a big fight back. He needs victory, really, at Singapore. I'm not expecting to win at Singapore and Japan because they're my 2. They're not good tracks for me on this game. Although I have won at Singapore in the F1 mod, so we'll see. Ferrari did win. Japan, no chance. Mexico and Brazil, though, will be 2 victories that I will be targeting. So if we win there, then we should be good for the championship. But yes, if you have enjoyed this video of the Monsoon Grand Prix, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, see plenty more episodes of the F1 2020 Drive Crew with Ferrari as and when they come out. Until the next video, I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.